Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be taking another look at Car Jump Arena because I made a video for this map a long time ago, but there's been quite a few updates to it, so I decided it's time to revisit it. Now I'm going to go into this video assuming you never saw the previous video, and we're going to be starting off at the default location. I wanted to sit here a minute so you kind of get an idea of all the different locations you could choose, but default is where we're going. The default location starts you off in front of this huge jump, but you can't really see how big the jump is until you actually go over this bump right here. Now you can see a very big jump right here. It's very steep as well, so it helps you get up to speed really good. With this car, we're going to be able to go to about 150 miles per hour before we actually fly right here. And you'll see this is kind of like a ski jump in the way it's set up, so we're going to fly to about 300, and then we're going to land it as smoothly as we can. Perfect, and now we just got to keep it going nice and straight into the water. And I could not have done that any better. I mean, yeah, I could have slowed down and not drowned my car, but I'm not a wimp. I floor it until we crash. So you can look at the damage right there a little bit. Very little for the fact that we were going like 200 miles per hour for a second as we flew through the air. So let's go ahead and do this jump one or two more times, but we'll use some different vehicles here. We'll use one that doesn't have much ground clearance, but it has a lot more speed, which actually is just bad on bad because we're going to fly farther and crash harder. So maybe that's good on good if that's what you're into. I don't know. We're going to actually slow down on this one right here, though, until we clear that bump, and then we floor it, because if we tried to go as fast as we could right from where we spawned, we would probably wreck the car up on the way to the jump, not actually after you hit the jump. So we got that to about 170 miles per hour, and woo, we are flipping. So there's absolutely no chance to land this one, so we're going to instead roll it and catch it on fire, but thankfully we're going to be landing in the water, which will put the fire out, or not. Okay, instead we'll just be on fire forever because the car didn't want to go in the water for some reason. Fine, if you're not going to cooperate, you're going to be replaced. Plus, I intended to replace you anyways. So let's replace this with the 200BX Demon version because this thing should be able to go even faster at the ramp than that one. And then we're going to add a little bit extra to it. We're going to grab the dry van trailer, empty, and we're going to teleport it all the way to the end of the jump. And then when we hit the jump, we're going to hopefully crash through this and then fly through the jump kind of all in one motion. So we'll plop that right there. All right, that's close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset it, freeze physics, and I'm going to just lower it a little bit into the ground. So that way we could actually go into it cleanly. Because as you can see right here, we'll go under it instead of through it the way it's currently sitting. So let's try right about here. All right, that looks good. I think we can work with this. So now we're going to go and grab the 200BX and just start accelerating, which has the slowest 0 to 30 ever because the turbos aren't spooled up. And then once the turbos are spooled up, we can move. I'm thinking we're going to hit that thing about 180, 190 miles per hour with this car. And we're not going to go very far on the jump because we're probably going to lose a lot of speed plowing through the trailer, but I'm pretty sure this is going to look cool if it works. So we're hitting it at 186 miles per hour. We got 16 times slow-mo there. Going straight and perfect through there. Now here's the cool part. So you just look at the trailer right here, okay? And then you're going to see a car busting through it. Ha! That was cool. That was worth it. All right, how badly beat up is the car, though? It is pretty beat up. We have no way we're going to land on our wheels because we're tumbling unless it's just dumb luck, which I don't have today. Instead, we have a ruined car. Do we have any drivability left? It says drive shaft broken and front wheel axle broken, so no, we are not going to have any drivability left. Although the car does look a little bit shorter than when we started. How about the trailer? How did it do? Oh, it fell from the top of the ramp down to there. And I'm like, wait a minute, where is this? All right. So let's go ahead and do one more jump. I know I said, oh, let's do only one or two more. And I said, you know what, we're going to do one more. And we're going to use a really slow car. Because we haven't done that yet. We started off with a normal car. Then we did a fast car. Then we did an even faster car. So here is what it looks like when you do a slow car. How slow? I don't know, but it's going to be slower than the first run because we're actually topping out right here and we can't clutch in because we have an automatic transmission. So this is as much as we're going to be doing. So it looks like about 120, 110 miles per hour right there and a very smooth landing. Like all that happened is my hubcaps fell off and oh, I cracked my windshield somehow. But if we slam on the brakes right here, we're going to stop just as we enter the sand pit, and I think we should have a fully drivable vehicle after that. Like, you don't have to wreck your car here. I just usually do because I'm reckless. The suspension might be a little bit jacked up just from that first kind of impact, but it looks like it's driving straight enough where we could keep on driving this thing. Now, when I did the first video for this map, this was about it. You have this section and then a couple of side roads over here. And that was it. Now there's so much more to this map. We have a pool. Well, why do you have a pool? Well, what if we look to the other side? We have a jump to jump into the pool, but you have to get to the top of it, which will take a while with this car, but we're gonna do it anyways because I want to see like how well this thing's driving, because it doesn't feel quite right after the impact. And I don't know if I'm imagining that or not. Like, I think something happened where that impact, where the suspension just, it's not perfect, but it's so close. Like, I'm second guessing myself. That's what's happening. It's very close to being perfectly flawless in terms of suspension, but something's not quite right with it. Maybe it's because the hubcaps are missing. It puts the wheels off balance. I mean, can you imagine if you're like, you actually say, oh yeah, I could tell the difference between a car that has its hubcap on versus hubcap off in terms of performance? I would say no way. Dude, if you could tell the difference on that, you should be like a Formula 1 car driver, because that is just absurd. There's no way you could tell the difference. All it is like, you know, a fraction of a pound's weight added to the wheels. You can't tell the difference. So I'm thinking though, point is, something's not right with this suspension for sure. As I'm driving around these corners, I can definitely feel it. It doesn't feel right. It's close enough to drive, but it's not right. Either way though, we are now at the top of this thing, and we're going to reset the car and then have a fresh car to do this jump. And then also, if we want to do this jump multiple times, it's easier instead of having to drive all the way to the top with every single vehicle. So here we actually have a few different jumps to do. For the first one, we're going to do nice and simple. We're just going to go straight, and we're not even going to do the lights. It has like little lights there that say when to go. You can't tell me when to go. Only one person out there who can tell me when to go, and that's E40. Nobody else can. So we go, do a perfect dive actually. I like how the car actually dived straight down like that. That was awesome. And very minimal damage entering the water there. Just a nice smooth collision. And now let's be rid of the slow car and go with something stupidly fast. We're going to get the drag version of the Barstow and see how this thing does here. This thing should really do something amazing here. I'm thinking I can't even really steer because we're popping into the air. Oh, dude. Oh, no. Oh, no. I completely overshot the water. Like, completely. I wasn't even close. Okay. Turns out there is such a thing as too fast in this situation. So we'll slow it down. We'll get the V8 Sport version of the Grand Marshal. And I don't think this thing will overshoot it. I mean, yeah, I could just let up on the accelerator a little bit, but it's nice to have all the wheels on the ground so you could also maneuver it properly, so you could do that beautiful spiraling diving motion like that. Ooh, that one actually sounded like it hit violently, and it did. I don't remember the other car being that damaged. This one just really hit hard. Was it the angle it hit at, or is it just because like a heavier car that just doesn't go through the water as cleanly? Let's see. So we'll do a straight run right there, and we're going to go into the water kind of diving just like we did with the other car. And oh, still sounded violent and still a lot of damage. That's interesting. I guess it just depends what car you have, and you have a car of the certain characteristics, it doesn't deform as much as the other one. So anyways, last run right here. Getting a little bit of a different angle. I like the way these ramps are set up. If you want to do a roll, it's really easy to make sure you roll. If you want to go straight, you just go perfectly straight and you'll be fine. Oh, there we go. Perfect positioning where you just point. It's not. How is it staying like this? Oh, because the hood's open. That's amazing. Somehow the hood is actually holding the car in place, I'm pretty sure. Because if we try to rip this thing away, yep, we just fall. I did not know the hood was that strong. Well, I didn't know that it would be that effective underwater, I should say, because it's a combination of the hood being stronger than I thought, and the effects of the water on the vehicle. That is interesting. Let's go ahead and make our way down the structure to go to the next section. And as I was going up this, I noticed the walls were really smooth. They were so smooth, in fact, I'm going to try to do some wall rides. What is a wall ride? It means you do this, where you just kind of glide up into the wall, and that's it when you go around the corner. You don't steer, you don't decelerate, you just go right up to the wall like that. So here it is again, nice and easy, and this is actually working amazingly well. We're almost going 40 miles per hour through the corner with basically no effort after the initial alignment. So like going about 50 in the entry, a little bit worse of an entry there, but it still actually smoothed it out. And we went around the corner, and it looks like we have no damage to the car still, aside from losing the mirror, which really is probably mostly unavoidable because the mirror is just smacking directly into the wall. And there you go. We did it. We got all the way down riding the wall. This one didn't look quite as smooth, but we could still ride it. Awesome. Oh, but there is some damage to this thing. It's not driving perfectly straight, but you know, for the abuse that it was going through, that is amazing. I am so happy about that. So over here we got a gas station, which I don't recognize, so I'm assuming it's custom made for the mods. We'll actually take a close look at it. Actually, wait a minute. What kind of gas station has different pumps like this? This is not the American style. This is not how Americans do it. And it's also in liters, wasn't it? Yeah, per liter. Oh, get out of here. This is un-American. But first, let's take a look at the shop. Maybe they got some American snacks in here. Let's see, what we got in here? What we got in here is beer. I see like American drinks like Coke, but Coke's everywhere. It just comes from America. What we got over here? Snacks. Okay. Looking at the snacks, these are some snacks I do not recognize. I mean, it's so low resolution, it's kind of hard to tell. I do recognize some of them, though. I see like Tic Tacs, Mentos, Skittles. I'm zooming on those Skittles. Skittles right there. Now the author's going to get sued. Like, Skittles is going to call him up. Hey, you didn't have permission to use our name in your map. It's all because of WhyBeAre looking at the Skittles. Sorry. All right, so over here we got another test. And I want to be driving straight for this one, so we're going to freshen up the car, and we're going to wait for the green light. Because it'll be soon. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Go! I probably should have been like revving up the engine beforehand so I didn't have such a slow start, but I didn't think about it. So right here we got another little jump, and then how far do you fly? Well, on this one, we flew all the way to the, what is that, 60 meters? I can't tell. The camera angle sucks for this. Let's 40 meters. All right. Now we're going to do it again with a faster car. Let's see. Can we overshoot the thing completely if we use a drag car? I hope we can because it's so dumb when that happens. So here we go. Floor it. Floor it. Floor it. Floor it. Hit it. Oh, come on. Overshoot. Overshoot. No, it actually will stay on the thing barely. Like, I'm counting it from the landing spot, not where it bounces to, and it landed right about 80 to 90 meters. Awesome. So let's do another run with a normal car. We'll go Ibishu Covet, and let's keep it pretty normal. We're going to just get the ZXI. No custom or anything. This is a production vehicle. And this time we're going to spiral it. We're going to just boop the edge of the ramp, do a nice spiral, and land directly on the roof for a violent ending right there. All right, get this thing, freshen it up, and then we're going to go ahead and go to the next section. And actually, you know what? I like the way these wheels look when they rotate. They look so cool. Like, oh, it looks so neat. I love that. All right. Anyways, let's stop being distracted by the wheels and go this way. Now, I did pop a tire, unfortunately, when I was looking at the wheels, so this thing is driving really crooked. So I'm going to just go ahead and swap it out for something different because these are some long straights, and you want a fast car for the long straight. So we're just going to go SBR4 all-wheel drive twin turbo stage 2, and I'm surprised I did not crash into that wall right there because I legitimately did not even know there was a wall right there because I pulled up the vehicle selector to see things. So right here it looks like you're actually two lanes. One goes 80 miles per hour, 120 on the other one, and you're over there saying WhyBeAre, that's kilometers per hour. I say no, I'm an American, everything is miles per hour, and I think I need to start slowing down right now. Otherwise I might crash. Oh goodness, stop! That's how you stop. That's how you stop. No damage at all. That is perfect. And I was actually mashing on the brakes 100% the whole way. Like, I was not letting up to get it any closer. That was just, oh no, I'm going too fast and I've made a mistake. So this time we're not making that mistake. We're braking nice and early. We're even going to do a complete stop at the stop sign. There we go. It sounds 0 miles per hour. And there we go. So anyways, we're going over here to this neat little arena area. And when we get there, we'll actually crash because we had two places where we could have had a really high-speed crash. Here's the third one, and this time we're actually going to have it. And we'll even throw in a little bit of slow-mo into this thing. Not a lot, just a little bit because we're going so fast you won't be able to tell what's happening at full speed. There we go. Perfect. Crunched up the front of that car very well, and then we're just going to slowly tumble to this wall. And I'm going to go ahead and switch this car out for something with a little more ground clearance and a little bit stronger suspension because all these loops and stuff do put a lot of stress on the suspension, so we're going to go with this one. Let's take a look at all this ground clearance right here. That is perfect because you want a car that has a stiff suspension and ground clearance, so that way you can hit everything hard and the car will keep driving. So rally cars really are perfect for this kind of stuff. Anyways, first thing we're going to do is this loop right here. We're going to actually change to this camera angle so we can see things a little bit better because when you try to use the other camera angle on loops, it's really weird. Everything feels wrong. Like upside down makes your left feel right and your right feel left, and you don't know which way to go, and it's bad news. Next, we have a loop that goes forever if you have a fast enough of a car. I don't know if this one actually is, but you just transition onto the loop and you just keep looping and looping and looping and looping and looping. This one we might be able to do it from the outside camera angle once it's lined up, but I don't know if I want to take the risk. Let's try it. Oh, that looks cool. Oh, I love this. Oh, I can't see the car. It works great when it works. When it doesn't work, that happens. Now, where are we actually? Okay, so we're still in the arena. So let's go ahead and reset this car, and then we're going to go ahead and try the rest of the stunts. And the rest of them are all jumps. And these jumps require pretty good control over your speed to do them properly, and I'll explain why for each of them. First, we have a two-part jump. This one's hard because you have to have enough speed to get up onto the first section, but be going slow enough where you can control it to get down to that next ramp. On the next one, it's through the ring of fire, and this one's just gotta have enough speed to get through the ring, but again, don't want to overshoot that ramp like that. I overshot it just a bit, but I don't think there's any significant damage here. And then this one's a little crazy. I'm gonna actually change my camera angle for this one and put the car into manual mode here. So you have a loop, a jump, and then another loop. So I'm gonna back this thing up and then floor it, go straight into third gear, and we're just gonna hold third gear. It's a strategic maneuver right here. So third gear in it, then we have a jump, we're gonna land it, and then do another loop. Come on, do we have enough power? Third gear, let's go! Alright, there we go. And then finish things off, let's just fly this thing into the air and crash it into the ground. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, we just gotta reset it. And that about does it for the arena over here, so now we're gonna take a look at the next area, which is the arena parking lot. And really, there's not much to say about it. It's just a parking lot. You have places to park your cars, then you have places to walk after you parked your car, and then you also have a place to park your car if you're willing to sacrifice it to the arena, so whatever car they would use in the arena is the car you park there. Okay, that last part I made up, but it'd be cool if it was. You know, you just bring your junk car, like you don't want to just get it to the junkyard because it still runs, but it's really a pile of junk. Just bring it here. They'll use it in the arena. So here it is. You have different zones. You like have zone 5, 3, 1, wherever you park so you don't lose your car. And you gotta be real careful of these curbs. Even though I have a rally car, if you kind of slide into them, it'll shred your tires. And then you also have another parking zone that appears to be identical to that one directly below us. You get to that by going through those tunnels. I'm not going to bother though because, like I said, it's identical as far as I could tell. So now let's go to the next real section. I'm probably going to want a car faster than this one because it tops out at about 130 miles per hour if I remember correctly. So let's just go ahead and bop it into there. Nice impact. And then let's swap it for something with a good high speed. So I'm thinking let's go Hirochi Sunburst race version, and we'll get the one with the dual clutch transmission. So we could go straight ahead, but it would be kind of pointless because if you go that way, all you have is a big old sign that says check back in the next version of the mod for more things at this location. And it is a long drive away. So we would spend a whole minute driving just to get to somewhere that says there's nothing here. So I'm not going to waste the time to do that. Instead, we're just going to go to the next interesting thing. So right there, that's where we came from. We're going to keep on going though. Ooh, stop looking over there with the camera. Almost crashed. This thing has another gear, right? Perfect. Now we're actually looking for a turn-off, but I'm really bad at identifying it. So expect me to completely overshoot this thing. There it is, there it is, there it is. We're going to overshoot it. We're going to overshoot it. Wait! The brakes on this are so good. We didn't overshoot it. All right. Now, if I'm actually going the right way, which is a little bit difficult to remember because all these roads look the same. Maybe is there any signage or anything that tells you what's in what direction? Because it could definitely use that. I don't know if I'm just not paying attention. I don't see anything here. That would be an awesome thing to add for sure. But anyways, I think this is the right way to go. If we drive this way, we'll eventually get to a cave and we just shoot our car into the cave and completely destroy it because we'll be going about 170 miles per hour because it's pretty far away. I'm thinking we could get up to that speed. Here's what the cave looks like, but we're not actually shooting out of the cave yet. We gotta go a little bit farther, maybe a lot farther. I mean, it didn't feel so far before, but I was driving a faster car. I mean, this is a fast car, no doubt, but it's only going 170. The other one I was driving was going 200 something. So anyways, there is the cave. Shoot this thing out, 177 miles per hour right into the cave. Get some slow-mo on this thing because it's going to be dramatic and fast. I'm hoping we get to actually hit those pink crystals because that might be fun. Come on. Oh, it went right through them. That's no fun. Alright, you know what? I don't even care if we hit these next ones. Let's just go full speed, crash that car, let it go into the water, whatever it wants to do. And, well, guess we got to get back to where we were. So, back up, and then we're going to drive back the way we came to get to the actual area. Or we just keep on going like this for a while. I don't know which would be faster in this situation because I don't know how fast this thing will actually go, but boom, we're here. That was actually pretty fast. I think I made the correct decision because the initial acceleration does take a bit with this car. So if we go this way, we finally exit the never-ending tunnels, and we get to go somewhere new. Well, not exactly new because you'll recognize everything around us, but I haven't driven on this particular road before. It is the Giant Red Bridge. Some would call it the knockoff Golden Gate Bridge. I don't know, whenever I see a red bridge, I think Golden Gate Bridge, even if it looks totally different compared to like the actual structure. But me being a Californian, it's like the only red bridge I know is the Golden Gate Bridge. So we're going about 140 through here. That's okay. It's okay. Then we got, let's actually ride up that mountain. Oh, I popped everything, broke everything, but I got to ride up the mountain. Worth it. Worth it. Oh, another flip. Okay. Which is of no help to me because I need the car right side up, so we'll respawn it, and then we're going to do a quick 180 because there's not much to do there. It's just like a registration booth, and I don't want to pay no registration. So over here, we have some garages for the teams to like fix up their car or whatever. And then if you go through the tunnel, which you'll be seeing, it'll actually get you back up to the top. But we're not going to do that because there's really not much to talk about in the tunnel. It's just a tunnel. And we're actually going to have to go the opposite way of traffic because apparently when you get here, you have to go to the tunnel. There's no way down because that's just the rules of the road. But I don't follow the rules of the road. I go whichever way I want, which means, yeah, we're gonna back down because I'm scared of the tunnel, man. It's scary. You can't see the sun. It's all artificial light. And what if the lights go off? I have a race car. The race car doesn't have headlights, although I think this one actually does. You know, a lot of real race cars don't have headlights. Well, some very specific ones. There are also a lot of race cars that do have headlights. Anyways, over to our right, we have an area for the visitors to buy tickets. So there it is. You could go and, you know, buy your ticket, and then you could go watch the cars fly everywhere. And after you buy the ticket, you could go and drive your own car off the edge if you want to. I don't know why we would buy a ticket, so we're going to go ahead and just respawn the car right at the start so we could do this a couple of times. And for the first run, we'll use this car because it's been doing great so far. I have no reason to replace it yet, although I will after this because there's kind of boring seeing the same car do the same thing twice in a row. So we're going to get this thing up to a little bit over 170 miles per hour, it looks like. Up just at 170. That was a little bit of a rough transition. So you see right here, it's kind of a thing. How high can the car get? And in this case, this one gets all the way to the top and crashes into the top. That is very impressive, but not every car can do that. We'll get more of an average car, and I'll show you what that'll do. So we'll get the ZXi version of the Corvette, which shouldn't get near the top, I would think. I mean, yeah, it's a faster version of the Corvette, but it's still a production Corvette. Yeah, not a chance. This thing's going to get over 100 for sure. It's not going to get the 170 of the Sunburst. 140-ish. And let's see how high can this thing get. 30, 40, 50. Ooh! All the way up to about 75 meters. Not bad. Now, what is that in American units? 75 yards. You know, that's the rough conversion rate. 1 yard equals 1 meter. Now, let's go ahead and do one more run at this. And for this one, we're going to use the T65 Cargo Box version of the vehicle. I'm going to do one small modification to it. I'm going to increase the size of the turbo so it can go as fast as possible. Because right now it has the T350 turbocharger with the T600 on it. And I also want to make the transmission taller if we can. Unfortunately, that is not a modifiable transmission. So we top out at whatever speed this thing tops out at. Ooh, and this thing might be too tall. It actually hit the lights right there. Well, it didn't hit them, but it clipped right through them. This might be interesting. Alright, so we're up to 80 miles per hour. We're rolling through these gears like crazy. Like shift, 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 shift. 12 times we shifted. 130 miles per hour right here. How high can it get? Oh my goodness. It got all the way up to 90. I did not foresee that. That is spectacular how well it did. And now it's wrecked, so we're going to go back up here. We're going to get a different car, and then we'll just, I'll show you a shortcut to somewhere. Because normally you would have to drive through a tunnel to get to where we're going, but we're not going to drive through a tunnel. Instead, we're going to drive off of a cliff, which is a little bit more difficult because it requires some alignment, but it is a lot more fun because you could also wreck your car up in the process. So we're going real slow through here because, again, you got to watch out for these corners, especially with this car. This car likes to pop its tires, I've noticed. So you don't want to ride up on any of them too high. Just, you know, nice and easy. You see the roundabout? Go super lazy through the roundabout. Actually, we're going to cut through right here because I use that spot for alignment. The way you want to line up is you want to be right where that booth is, which means we got to do a little bit of serious off-roading for this vehicle right here, going up that curb. There we go. It actually managed it. Perfect. So if my alignment is correct, and we look down here, there we go. Perfect. So there's the tunnel you would normally drive out of, but we're not doing that. We're driving above the tunnel, and this is going to be cool. Watch this. So we hit there, and we fly straight through the bubble, and then once you're actually in the bubble, you can drive on any section of it. It's like a one-way barrier. It's real cool like that. So let's get a car really fast because it's convenient to have a car that's really fast for this. We're going to go with the 390 Group 4 version of the Sveta Bolide, and now what we're going to do is we're going to get it up to speed, so we're just going to drive in some circles down below. And then once it's up to speed, you can go in any direction you want, and as long as you keep holding the throttle down, You could do anything. I mean, I'm sure there are some ways you could get this thing to crash even while you hold the throttle down, like if you steer really hard to scrub off speed, but basically you could just kind of watch the car from here as it goes around and around and around through the bubble. Maybe a little more zoom out. There we go. Now you can see the whole thing at once. You can steer whichever way you want. It's just kind of fun to watch it. You can also do multiple cars if you want to, have one of them where it's just accelerating straight all the time and you try to avoid it or whatever. But right now, I'm happy just watching like this. It looks cool to watch. Oh no, don't have enough speed, don't have enough speed. There we go, we got enough speed now. That was scary. That was really scary. And it seems like you really start to just kind of keep the same speed after some point. Like if you just keep going around and around, so we're staying at about 70, 60 miles per hour no matter what. We're not losing speed, but we're not gaining speed either. I mean, we could, of course, gain and lose speed depending on the angle, though, so you could do something like this, which might help a little bit. No, still maintaining it about. Anyways, that'll about do it for this map. A lot more things than the first time I did, and I think I covered everything. There's so much here, it's kind of hard to do that, but I think I did. So until next time, this has been WhyBeAre. I'll see ya.